Hey everybody, it's Josie. Welcome back to Cedar Creek Homestead. I hope everybody had a good day today and that you guys have been blessed beyond measure. I know that I am. You know, all along we've been talking about looking well to the ways of our household. And we're going to talk about that again tonight because I feel like that's something that is worth getting out there and continuously hitting that, looking round to the ways of our household. No doubt we can look around us and we can see all of the things that are going on in society today, not just in our country, but in other countries as well. Things are not looking so good. I have some dear friends that are from another country. They're from Australia, and they wrote me a letter and told me about some of the things that are going on in their beloved country. They were so sad about all of the restrictions and all the things that are taking place. And so see, it's not just here in America, it's in other places too. We're having all kinds of challenges, and we have to rise to the challenge, and we have to meet it, head on, and have a plan for us and our families, how we are going to deal with the tidal wave of problems that are coming down the pike. Now, it's not anything for us to wring our hands and worry and fret about and get so worked up that there's no way out, because there is. There are things that we can do to make it. Now, I thought we'd talk tonight about a couple of sayings. The first one is, the wolf is at the door. And I wrote down the meaning of that because I wanted to make sure that I explained it properly. Now, I've heard this my entire life, the wolf is at the door. And I thought, what in the world are they talking about? In fact, I've heard people say, some of my family members say, well, if the wolf's at the door, he better pack a lunch because I don't have anything to give him. That's pretty poor, isn't it? Well, this saying, when you look up in the dictionary, it means when someone says the wolf at the door, what they mean is there's a threat of poverty upon them, or there's a danger, threat, or calamity at hand. Well, we're mature enough to know that when we listen to the news or we read the paper, or however it is that we get our information, and we sort out the things that are true and we throw out the things that are false, we can see that there are some challenges. We can't deny that. We can't bury our heads in the sand and say, no, I don't want to hear it. We have to know that there are some things that we need to be concerned about. We dealt with this sickness and the shutdowns that came with that. We've dealt with the jobs, the loss of jobs, and the jobs that are open now that can't seem to be filled. We've seen people go bankrupt and lose their businesses that they worked so hard to build, and then this big calamity hit and the wolf was at the door for them. We've seen our families struggle, and it's time for us to react. If you haven't already, you need to shake yourself and you need to get busy. We have a little time, but we have a lot less time than we did, and we need to prepare ourselves. When we hear the wolf is in the neighborhood, he's coming to somebody's door, we need to do our best to be prepared so that we keep him away from our door. That's also a saying that also has a meaning, and I also wrote it down to let you guys know what it means. When somebody says they're keeping the wolf from the door, they mean that they have just enough money to get by, to make ends meet, or they have just enough supplies that they're okay, that they're kept from that poverty, that they're kept from that calamity, that they're kept from that danger. And that's what we're here for, isn't it? We are here to encourage one another, to do all that we can to prepare our families, to prepare our pantries, to prepare food supply and water supply, first aid supply, the things that we know to do to look well to the ways of our household, to look into taking care of our families. Because guys, if we are looking for the powers that be to come to our door with a big bag of money and say, here you go, Josie, here you go, whomever, we've brought this to you for you to make it through, we have ourselves fooled. It's our responsibility. Now, I will tell you that I lean heavily on the Lord. I am a Christian, and I put my faith in Him, and I trust in Him. But I am also required to work. I'm required to do my part. And He has instilled in me a desire to look well to the ways of my household, to do what I can to help Blade and Cheyenne and little Howie that's on his way, to help my in-laws and my brothers and my sisters, my church family. Now, I know I can't monetarily help everyone, but there are things that I can do to help others, and you can too. Now, there's another old saying that we're going to talk about tonight, and we've actually talked about this before, but I think it's important for us to go over it again, because it's an encouraging message, and it's something that we need this day and age. I don't ever want to come on here and tell you guys stuff and leave you feeling down and out. I want to bring ideas to you that would lift you up and that would encourage you to keep going, to keep doing what you're doing, or to encourage you to get started doing something. And those of you that are just getting started, you've got some time, but you're going to have to work really fast, and you're going to have to, be diligent. Instead of making some of the purchases that you would make just because, you have a little bit of extra money and it's something fun. Maybe you need to think about, I need to buy an extra jar of peanut butter, or I need to buy a flat of green beans or corn, or whatever it is that your family eats. So let's go over this saying one more time. I can't promise that I won't ever talk about it again, because if it comes to my mind again, we'll talk about it again. But let's talk about the old saying, use it up, wear it out, make it do without. And you may say, well, it's simple to say, but what does it mean? Well, let's talk about it. Lots of people hear that, and they just absolutely don't want to live that way. They think, what is the necessity of living below your means? I work hard for my money, I've got it, and when I get my paycheck, I have the right to spend it. Why, yes, you do. You have that right. But we have a responsibility to our families too. And if we can get out of debt and we can make some preparations, then you're going to be thankful in the end when you've got peace of mind knowing that you've made some extra preparations for your family and those that you might be responsible for, that their tummies are full. I don't think that I would enjoy hearing someone cry because they were hungry. I don't think I would enjoy that. That's one thing that I'm trying to avoid. I'm trying to avoid having to go out and get, should this come in the future? And we don't know. We don't have any idea, but we think that it could be a possibility. It's been a possibility in other countries. I don't want to find myself in a food line. I don't want to find my family in a food line. I want to know that we have a little bit of food security and some other things so that we can spend our time doing other things that we know that we need to be about, the business of the Lord. So the first one, use it up. What does that mean, use it up? Well, how many of you have ever got to the bottom of the ketchup bottle and there's about this much left in it, and you have to really shake that bottle and squeeze and not very much comes out, and so you're thinking, I'll just get out a new bottle of ketchup. Before you know it, there's 2 or 3 bottles of ketchup in the fridge. One is about half full and the others have about that much. Well, there's several ways to get that out of there and combine all those bottles into one. We know really easy, really simple. Turn that bottle over, let that ketchup run, or whatever it is, salad dressing, whatever it is, run to the top of the bottle where the lid is at, and then it's easy to get out of there. Or shake it, whatever you can to get that last drop out of there. Get you a little skinny spatula or a knife and take advantage. Get that little scrap of jelly or honey or whatever it is out of there and use it. We're really quick to throw away those things when there's just a little bit more. Shampoo, we throw shampoo bottle away. Dish soap, when you can't get a whole lot out of there anymore, I always turn my soap container over and let it all run to the top, and I can usually get 2 or 3 more washes, hand wash dishes. I can get a couple more loads out of that. And then for the very last one, when I'm fixing my dishwater, when the hot water's running, I open that bottle, I put that little bit of water in there, I shake it up, and I get a sink full of soapy water because it's good to the last drop. And you'll be surprised how far you can stretch that by taking those little bits. They all add up, every bit of them. So use it up. Use it up, use it up, use it up. That can be with clothes, that can be with anything that you have. Before you reach for a new one, make sure that you've got all the use out of the old one. A tip on that would be, if you open your refrigerator, and my family is guilty of this, the whole door in my refrigerator is full of all kinds of condiment bottles. You've got your salad dressings, and you've got your mustards and ketchups, and your mayonnaises, and your salad spread, and your jams and your jellies, and your soy sauce, and you've got your Worcestershire sauce, and you've got all of these things. And then you've got your specialty items, for your sandwiches and your dips and, ranch dip and this and that. Don't get yourself caught in that trap of having 40 bottles of condiments open in the door of your refrigerator, because I guarantee you half of them at least are going to go to waste because there's too many choices there for you, and you're going to end up throwing some things away because some of your products are going to go bad on you. And so don't be tempted to have 500 choices there. Limit the choices and save a little money by not having so many condiment choices. Now, I know mustard, ketchup, and at my house ranch dressing is like #1 with Cheyenne, and ketchup is pretty high up there for Blade. So the second one would be wear it out. When you have clothing items, now I wear aprons, y'all see all my aprons, and this is an apron here. If I can scoot the camera back just a little bit so you guys can see. This is a little apron that one of my subscribers sent to me, and it is made, she made it out of a quilt top, and I think it's beautiful. And that's an idea of using things up, repurposing things to make something new. This is a quilt top. You could make items out of a curtain or a tablecloth or dish towels or different. You can make aprons, and you could make I've seen instructions on using a man's t-shirt to make a little vest for a lady to wear over a dress. And I think I'm gonna do that with a couple of Howie's old t-shirts, make some vests for me to wear over some of my little dresses this fall. Repair your socks. Instead of throwing a pair of shoes away, think about having a tube of shoe glue, and doing a repair, like when your sole comes loose on a pair of tennis shoes or something. Now, But wear it till you wear it out. That's what, with my dresses, I wear an apron over the top of those, and I really save my dresses. My aprons wear out a whole lot faster than my dresses because I am notorious about wiping my hands on my clothes, front and back. That's why my little sister-in-law started making me aprons that have a back and a front, because I am terrible about wiping my hands on my hips, and you'll really wear your clothes out that way. So that's one reason why I wear aprons no matter what I'm doing on the farm. Usually Sunday is the only day of the week that I don't wear an apron, because I go to church and I don't wear an apron to church. And then after church, I really don't do jobs on Sunday. I really spend that day as a day of rest. Okay, so we've learned to use it up. We've learned to wear it out. And the next one is make it do. Well, how do you make it do? Make it do by taking care of the things that you have. Take care of your furniture, even if you think it's the ugliest thing in the world. I have a sofa and love seat, couch and love seat, whatever you want to call it, that I have had since Howie and I first moved here to Oklahoma. We bought this mobile home from a man and woman who are our neighbors today, but we bought this house, and when they were going to move this furniture, she did not want it, and so she priced it to us, and we were able to buy this furniture in with the house. Now, the couch and the love seat are extremely well built, but the print on it is definitely not our style. They are older. I guess I would describe it's in like an older person print. It's not really something that definitely not something that Howie would like. It's okay, but I'm still in search of some couch covers that could go on it, and the pillows could go on the top of it, that would be easy to wash and get back on there. But I can't justify throwing the couch and love seat away because I don't like the print on it. It's so well built, and you don't get, hardly ever do you get well built furniture today without paying a pretty penny for it. So I can't justify that. I'm making it do. And that's something, that we all have to do. Make it do. Don't go buy a new vehicle if there's not anything wrong with your vehicle just because you want a new vehicle. We have to break that habit. Slap our little hand when we're going through this, boy, I'd like to have a new vehicle. And your vehicle is good. There's nothing wrong with it. You just about got it paid for, so enjoy not having a payment for a while. Make it do. That's with everything that we've got. Make it do. So what have we done so far? We've used it up. We've wore it out. We're making it do. Making do with what we have. I have a television back behind you guys that is, I don't know how many inches it is, 35 inches or whatever. Anyway, the kids for quite a little while have wanted me to get a new television. You need a new TV, you need a new TV. And it has this little line down at the very bottom of the screen. And but it's okay. I don't want to spend money on a new TV. They want me to get a big screen TV. I'm happy with the television I got. I appreciate that the kids want me to have something, but my money, right now, I'm holding my money for items that are needs and not wants. And that's something that we need to determine. Is it a want or a need? Do I really have to have it, or is it something that I want? These are ways, remember, that we're talking about how to keep the wolf from the door. We don't want him to stop at our house. We want him to go on. So, last one, do without. What I mean by do without? Well, sometimes we can do without things that we really think we had to have. We can do without the next big upgrade on the phone. You know, just back in January, I got this iPhone 12 Pro or whatever it's called. And I didn't like what I had to pay for it. It was expensive. But I have to say that I have enjoyed having the phone. Well, just the other day I heard on, I was doing something, the TV was on, and I heard a commercial about the iPhone 13. And I thought, my goodness, they're already moved on to the next one. And I was telling Blade about it, and he said, well, Mom, he said, they're probably already truthfully working on iPhone 14. So I asked him, I said, are y'all going to upgrade and just because? And no, they weren't going to. They were going to hold on to theirs. And I told him, I said, I for sure am going to hold on to mine until I just have to get something else, because I want to make it do. I've bought it. I paid a lot for it, and it should last me, is my thinking. You know, your appliances, you don't always have to have top of the line. And I'm one of those people that get suckered in by pretty packaging. I hate to admit that, but it's true. If I see something and it's well packaged, it's just like, you know, it catches my eye and sucks me in. And Howie always got tickled because that's the way it was with appliances. And he said they design appliances to get to women. And he wasn't meaning that in a bad way. He was just trying to explain to me how I didn't need all these bells and whistles, because we would go, and Howie being a repairman for him, he was looking at how easy it would be to get into it, to be able to fix it, because side-by-sides are not easy for these technicians to get in there and fix. He was looking at how technical it was, how mechanical it was, how much trouble he was going to have in getting parts to fix it if something went wrong. He was looking at all of that stuff. I was looking at the pretty, when you open the door, the pretty lights that came on, and all of the little bells and whistles, and all the little extra compartments, and when you open the doors, and there was the third door that you pull out, and it had the deli drawer and all that. And it's all that, if you've got one of those refrigerators, well, all I can say is you have a very pretty refrigerator. They're nice, I agree. But I can't justify buying one. They're thousands of dollars, and my refrigerator, although it's getting older, it's at least 12 years old. It's doing its job. And right now, for me, there's no sense in going and spending thousands of dollars to get another refrigerator when this one is working. And so I am doing without an upgrade, and I'm just fine. I'm going to be just fine. And y'all are going to be just fine too. If we work the best we can work and do the things that we know to do, we're going to be okay, and we're going to keep that wolf from the door. So I wanted to show you a few books that I have really been enjoying thumbing through and reading and getting some ideas, and some of these stories are really encouraging. And you can find these books at used bookstores. You can find them on Amazon, the used books. And they're really interesting. This first book is When the Banks Closed, We Opened Our Hearts. And it is one of those books from the Reminisce magazine. And this book is full of stories from different people that wrote about things that their family did during the Depression times, their memories. And it talks about different foods and how they stretched their food budget, and what they done when they needed clothing, and what they did on Christmas, how they had a Christmas in spite of the Depression, and how they took care of their animals, and how they bartered, and they done things that that kept the wolf from the door. I keep pointing that way because my front door's over there, just in case you guys wonder what I'm doing. But anyway, this little book is an interesting book. It has lots and lots of stories, first-hand experiences on how people made ends meet, and they're just simple. The stories aren't very long, just like maybe one-page stories, and some of them are just a few paragraphs. It's just a compilation of of stories that people had written into this magazine throughout the years, and they put it all together. And it's how people survived the Depression. And there might be something in here that would encourage you and give you ideas to make ends meet for your family. These other books are from Ken and Janice Tate, and they are The Good Old Days. And these also come, I believe these are also originally come from magazines. And this one just has the same kind of thing, little short stories compiled by them of things that people did for entertainment, games, things like that, that would encourage, you know, families. And I thought that these kind of books would be good sources for us to learn how to do things with our families, spend times with our children, with our families, without breaking the bank, without spending a whole lot of money. And this one's Bringing in the Sheaves. And I have a few more, but I just grabbed these three. And this one is just how our faith helped us through some pretty tough times back in the good old days. It says there was prayer in school, prayer at home, prayer just about everywhere. And this book tells some uplifting and encouraging stories about church and about preachers and about the church bells and all the different things that would be an encouragement dealing with these, not necessarily in-depth spiritual, but how church and prayer got them through in these difficult times. There's other ones that deal with recipes, how they stretch their budgets. There's a whole bunch of these little books, but I thought I'd just bring you something that would be an idea for you to look and see if your local library has these books that you could check out, or a used bookstore or whatever. And that this having resources like pardon me, having resources like this is another way that you can learn how to do all the things that we talked about today. To use it up, to wear it out, to make it do, and to do without. These books and other resources are a good way to get you ideas on how to do that. On the computer, if you have access to a computer, you can go to Pinterest, and they'll have links to stories on the Depression and ways to make your dollar stretch. And it all boils down to keeping the wolf from the door. So we don't know everything that is going to happen in the next few months. We do know that prices are starting to go up. We know that your gasoline for your cars, that gas is going up. And I showed a price yesterday on my video that I did on learning to drive the tractor. I showed the price here locally in Gore, Oklahoma, for the price of regular gas and for diesel. And I didn't get the price of off-road diesel on there. But anyway, a lot of you commented in this section down below that gas was a lot higher in your area. So we know that different regions are facing different cost prices. And you can go to the store and you can see that that the grocery prices are going up. Little increments, but if you think that every food item that you might have in your cart has increased in price, then you know that that's going to be a real struggle for some people. We're going into the holiday season with Thanksgiving and Christmas just around the corner. We know people are trying to stretch their budgets and trying to figure out how to make ends meet so that they can give the best possible Christmas they can to their family members. And I know that a few weeks back we talked about this. I still think that, you know, to to have the most pleasant Christmas that we can have with our family members is to remember the real reason for Christmas, and make it a homemade Christmas. Try to make some gifts that you made by hand. I've still got some, I still have some gift ideas coming. Things got a little bit crazy with everything going on with Cheyenne and the baby, but I do have some ideas coming that I'm going to be bringing to you, some gift ideas for the children. And I have some food gift ideas coming for anybody in the family, and those will help us to stretch our budget some. Try your best to get out of debt, to stay out of debt. Don't put a bunch of Christmas gifts on the credit card. Make this a year that you say, we're taking Christmas back. We're remembering the real reason for Christmas. We're going to have a loving Christmas. We're going to have a special Christmas. And guys, tonight I'm encouraging you to continue to look well to the ways of your household, to do all that you can to keep the wolf from the door. Remember to use it up, wear it out. Make it do or do without. Adopt the ideas and the ways that those that came before us did. They made it. They made it through the Great Depression by rolling up their sleeves and going to work. To being flexible and doing those jobs that maybe they weren't necessarily trained to do in the first place, but knowing the necessity and learning how to do new skills, like driving the tractor for me, or learning to can, learning to grow a garden, learning to do the things that's going to help ends meet for your family. We can make it, guys. We can make it. Well, guys, this is Josie with Cedar Creek Homestead. I love y'all. I really do. Until next time, look well to the ways of your household and consider the things that you can do to keep the wolf from the door. It's going to be okay, guys. We're going to make it one step at a time, ever moving forward. Until next time, we're gone.